We only had 6 hours to turn an average garage into an arcade. And not just a personal arcade, one for the entire community to enjoy on Halloween night. It's your old pal, Bustin' Justin here. And I'm going to explain why we had to build this arcade so quickly and how it went. On Halloween morning, Ryan from Retroware approached us about a plan. He's been seeing a lot of weird Facebook community posts about changing Halloween. Some people wanted trunk or treats instead of going door to door. Some felt like there had to be very strict curfews, and the worst, some wanted to ban outsiders from trick-or-treating in their neighborhoods altogether. Halloween fun should be for everyone, if they live right next door to you or not. So, with all of our resources, we were going to set up a garage arcade that anyone could enjoy. Trick-or-treating starts around 6 p.m. when the sun sets, so we didn't have a lot of time to make this happen. Planning went on a whiteboard at 10 a.m. We'd give out candy to kids, and some walking beers for the parents. We would need signage, lights, decorations, a projector, fog machine, speakers, and the most important thing, arcades. Thankfully, we already have an arcade to pull from. We decided on Dance Dance Revolution, Konami's 4-player X-Men, Sega's 4-player Spider-Man, plus a few smaller Nintendo cabinets like Donkey Kong 3, Mr. Do, and Gradius. A pretty decent spread. Not only would this be an experience for trick-or-treaters, but we'd be giving out free passes to that full arcade we have in Lansdale, Pennsylvania. So first, we pulled the signage out of storage. I know we needed a drape wall for a background. The garage ceiling is about 10 feet tall, so rather than screw things up top, we grabbed a bunch of light stands from our studio space to get decent height. We have our trusty minivan for transport. It's kind of a shame there aren't many companies making these anymore. You get dramatically more cargo space than an SUV. Got random tablecloths we had to act as drapes, and everything else we needed to go in the van. And wow, it's now in the van. And there's Patrick, who repairs the machines and runs the arcade. He's a good guy. To transport large things, I super recommend just getting trailers. Dealing with Penske trucks and liftgates really sucks. We can haul about 26 arcades with both trailers. Really great for when we set up at conventions. And then you have a car that you can detach for sortie missions. Alright, we have a couple climate-controlled storage units for the machines right now. And yeah, they are crammed in here like sardines. And here's the second unit. These units have everything that we don't already have in the regular arcade. We could probably open a second or third location in the future if we need to. Now comes the loading process, and it is now 11 a.m. We have a really heavy-duty dolly for bringing them in and out. And they get strapped to the sides of the trailer with ratchet straps connected to E-Track. To get the machines we needed, I talked about the list earlier, we had to play some Tetris to get them out. These machines are in various stages of being cleaned, repaired, and all that. And this unit even has some dance games in here. Oh, and here's our oldest machine, Space Invaders from 1978. I never really understood why the aliens look like a Bigfoot or ape monsters, rather than the crab guy we see in the game. Alright, I'm wasting time. We gotta get on the road. So we get to Ryan's garage around noon, and it's being used as a garage. So it's gonna take time to get this stuff out of the way. You'll see the DDR is already here, because it was getting fixed. Ugh, and thank God it's here, because moving these things is a bitch. Select your music! Next, we needed to move the arcades out of the trailer, so we could load up the garage junk to make space. Oh, and here's the E-Track and straps I mentioned. They keep everything very snug in here. Now that the arcades were chilling, we can get all the wood out of here. This wood is usually used to build control panels and sides of arcade machines mostly. And yes, I helped Patrick move all this. But I also need to film as a combat correspondent, as a war journalist under fire.
Oh, you seen much combat?
I've seen a little on TV.
We pushed all the bikes and stuff along the back wall rather than move them somewhere else. This would allow for about 5 feet of storage behind the drape wall, which would then be about 8 feet tall to cover everything else behind it. We used some thin wood to bridge the gaps between the poles using gaff tape to secure it all together. And in come the drapes. We have a variety of colors here, so we decided to alternate red and purple. Machines would go in front of the purple areas, and this ended around 1 p.m. We were kind of building the plane as we flew it. We were kind of figuring things out moment by moment. Reminds me of that arcade game Rampart, where you have to build defenses and hope it worked out a second later. And yes, this might be the first ever Soy Jack meme, and I think we'll use it for the thumbnail. Where was I? Oh right, then Ryan swung in and we started going through all the decorations. We had a lot of fun lights, like spiders and skeletons and stuff, but even right out of the box, they were a tangled mess. Real Clark Griswold energy. They got a metric ton of candy and a good amount of fog juice for the fog machine. We had low-lying fog too, but didn't want to go overboard. Then the lights were hung up. In come the machines. We put the big 4-player ones in center mass and the small cabs next to the DDR. We didn't realize the projector screen, which you can kind of see on the floor, on the right there, would take up that much space. It was about 2 p.m. now, and everything was coming together nicely. And yeah, I know the room doesn't look great, but it totally will when it gets dark. It's almost like seeing a Disney ride with the house lights on. The candy table is ready to go, and we got our arcade flyers and comp tickets out. Decided one big speaker was enough, which I placed behind the screen so it was out of the way. We had another speaker, but This 6-pack of battery-powered DJ lights are perfect for hitting the drape wall and the floor. And these batteries last a really long time. These things are just super bright. And if you wanted to, you could walk around like my man, the Tomberry King. So we used a short-throw projector and a retractable screen to make life easier. By 3 p.m., we got a laptop set up to play videos on the big screen and music on that big speaker. Starting off with the Dinosaur Dracula Halloween Jukebox, one of my favorites, great hits on here. Lastly, we have these lights strewn about the grass outside to hit the house when it finally gets dark. And that's it, the arcade is finished. We celebrated with a Top Gun high five now that we were out of the danger zone. We finished at roughly 4 p.m. with 2 hours to spare. So here's what we got. Again, it'll look a lot nicer when it gets dark. Oh, and here's Ryan's son. And he's ready to trick or treat as the second best Ninja Turtle. And that order is Donnie, Raph, Mikey, and all the way down here, Leo. Because being the leader is not a personality. Let alone having 2 katanas, which is a 2-handed weapon, by the way. Well, like some of these guys have like wooden sticks. Like, it seems like he's overcompensating for something.
What does katana mean?
It means Japanese sword.
Oh, crap. I'm here shitting on Leonardo and we forgot the beer. So we had to rush to the beer store, named Beer Store. Perfect. Oh, go Birds! We got a bunch of pumpkin beer. Some heavy, some light. Oh, go Birds again! Go Ice! It was now 5 p.m., and all that needed to happen was to set up the lights and wait for the sun to set. Then we could rearrange the lights as we needed, and that's it. Ryan's kids were ready to trick or treat, and I found some cool pixel animation to play on the screen. That would match kind of the gaming vibe we have going on. I spent the remaining time filling the coolers with beer, and I got a Mario Boo fact for you. Boo's name in Japan is Teresa. Yeah, Teresa. It's a play on the Japanese tereru, which means to be shy. And yes, that means King Boo is King Teresa there. Not sure why Mother Teresa isn't Mother Boo here. Got some classic Halloween tracks going, like Lavender Slam. And of course, Bustin'. It's now 6 p.m. and the floodgates opened. Kids and parents started to show up and everyone got candy and arcade passes. The lighting looks a lot better than we all thought and the fog wasn't too horrifying. And some of these kids have never played an old school arcade game before. And a lot of people didn't realize DDR even existed. The lights on the house were looking great too. And Jesus Christ, it's a giant chicken. I noticed there were a lot of inflation suits this year. I don't care. I'm making my inflation joke again. Sorry. The neighborhood was out in force. We noticed a lot of cars pulled up from other areas too, so we did it. Random people who came in from farther away were having Halloween fun too. It was going kind of viral. Or bacterial? Not really sure what kind of infection you get when the steampunk lads and the furries show up. I will never stop bustin'. Hell, as I've been writing and editing this video, I've already gone through 6 hours of bustin' on YouTube. Thanks, Neil. Alright, that was fun. It was now 9 p.m. and time to shut it all down. Mission accomplished. We saved Halloween from the Facebook mob. I didn't film our breakdown, but you can just watch this video in reverse. And if you are ever in the Philadelphia area, come check out our Retroware arcade in Lansdale. We got 80s classics, great stuff from the 90s, modern Japanese games including all the rhythm stuff, and oh yeah, we now have pinball. We do private parties as well. And thanks for watching. I've been trying to do weekly videos for about a month now, so I'd appreciate it if you checked out our video on Nintendo's game prices and all the horror that you can find in Zelda.